Welcome back, guys. Today I thought I'll just give you a quick look at the speaker switch that I recently purchased to help disseminate my power amplifier music through various speakers that I have. Makes it easier to test the speakers by just using these rocker switches. So this is a four-way speaker switch that you'll find very commonly on Amazon and eBay. And my review or opinion on it is that it's not great. It's fairly cheap for the likes of the items you can get. This isn't one of the non-branded one. It's actually one by AV-Link, which I thought was worth buying. But that's the model number or reference number and the brand emblem. It's got a metal back plate with 4 screws, which I've taken out and show you what's inside, and it's got the speaker terminals set up there. Very oddly, it's got the amplified section on one together with the 2 speakers on one side. I would have thought that would have been separately wired in and have the 4 speaker outputs on one side. Nevertheless, this is the layout that it has. You can see it's got the amplifier input on the left and right for your left and right channels, and for each set of speakers that corresponds to each of the speaker switches, it's got speaker 1, 2, 3, 4. And these are just 4 simple positive negative two-way binding post speakers on the spring terminals. The post or terminal themselves can't accommodate a very large gauge wire, so just be aware of it when you buy this. If you've got very thick wire, you might need to either half it, trim it down, or whatever it is, just to make sure it fits in cleanly. Speakers, the switches in the front seem to be fairly decent. You can hear the click. It's got no play around in it. It's quite a solid click. But what I found with this unit is that the speaker switches and the sound, you get cross bleeding between channels. So if you were to play speaker 1 and you decided to add in speaker 2 as well, you'd hear some sound coming out from speaker 1 even though the switch is off. If you decide to change channels. So there's something inside with the wiring that probably isn't very well quality controlled. You can have a look on the inside to see what's the wiring like. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to show you the exact schematics of it, but the chassis of the unit is made in plastic and the base plate is metal, and that's what you have inside. Fairly thick gauge wires, very stiff to move. You can see the rating or the model number on that. It's 18 gauge wire on that sort of circuitry or circuit board, and I'm not quite sure where or why, but you can see that there's not much gap between the soldering pathways from one to the other, so that's why I suspect there's some bleeding going on here between the speakers where one is playing. The soldering isn't done neatly. It's quite thick blobs of solder on it, so I suspect that something around here is crossing over and causing the wires or the sound signals to bleed through when you're playing one channel and the other channel's off. So thanks for watching. Hope that's informative for you. Having said that, to replace the unit, I've actually bought another AV-Link 4-way speaker switch. It's the one that's flat and it's just got the switches on the front as opposed to the rocker switches at the top. It's just the push switches, and that seems to be working perfectly fine. Thanks for watching. Please feel free to leave comments and feel free to subscribe.